Hello, chemistry students. I'm here to tell you how to ace your lab practical for making a solution. So, first of all, you'll have your lab practical sheet, and I will give you a certain molarity right here, and I will also give you the solute that you're going to use. It could be one of these possible solutes. So, for myself, I will be making a 0.25 molar solution of calcium chloride. So I'm going to first have to calculate the grams of calcium chloride that I need to make my solution. And you can see in number one, I need to calculate my moles. I'll do that using my formula up here for my moles of solute. And then I'll have to take my moles of solute and multiply by the molar mass to get the grams. So I got to do that first, and then I'll be ready to measure it out and make my solution. So I've done my calculations and I'm ready to go. Based on my calculations, I need 2.78 grams of calcium chloride. Okay, now that I have my amount that I need to measure out, I'm ready to make my solution. But before I can go to the lab, I need to put on my goggles. I put on some gloves. I have proper lab attire, including closed-toed shoes. And now I can come over to the weighing area. So one of the parts of the lab practical is to see if you can properly weigh out a solid. So first of all, we're going to zero our scale, start it with 0. Then I'm going to put my weigh boat on here and zero it again. When that's ready, I will look at the different chemicals that I have in front of me, and I need to find calcium chloride. So I'm going to take the one that says calcium chloride, and I will weigh out 2.7 grams of calcium chloride into my weigh boat. Do this carefully so that I don't spill any on the side as I'm doing this. Oh darn, I went over. In that case, I can't put it back into the reagent bottle. That's a big no-no. So I need to put the excess into a waste container. There will be a waste container near the balance, and so I'm going to take out solid until I get down to 2.78 grams. Okay, there we go, 2.78 grams of solid. So then I'll leave the scupula to the side. I should double check that I closed my reagent bottle. Okay, now I can take my 2.78 grams and transfer it to a volumetric flask. So I have my volumetric flask here. I'm going to take the stopper off. I'm just going to look over it. Looks pretty clean. Okay, I'm going to transfer my solid into the volumetric flask. Now, you want to do this carefully. You want to curve this weigh boat. You can use a funnel if you want, but remember, if you use a funnel, you'll have to wash the funnel as well. So I usually prefer just using the weigh boat. And then I will take my distilled water bottle and I will squirt down any solid that is left on the weigh boat, because I want to get that 2.78 grams completely into the volumetric flask. Okay, once I've rinsed that down, I'm going to make sure I rinse down any stuff that might be stuck in the neck. Okay, and I have all my solid in here. So now I need to dissolve this. I'm going to add about half the volume of the water into my volumetric flask. So I'm going to grab a beaker and an eyedropper, and I'm going to take about 100 mils of the distilled water and just pour it in here for now. And then I will add about half of this into my volumetric flask so that I can dissolve the solid completely before adding the rest of the water. So I add half the water, and now I'm swirling, swirling, swirling. I want to keep swirling until all of the solid dissolves. Looks like I'm almost there. You should not see any grains of salt, well, in this case, calcium chloride left. Okay, all right, it appears to be all dissolved. So now I am going to take more water and continue adding. Okay, and I'm going to continue adding water until I get close to that mark. Looks like I need a little bit more water. So notice that I'm putting the distilled water into a separate beaker. I don't want to put my eyedropper directly into the distilled water bottle because we want to keep that pure. So, oh, very close. Okay, I don't want to go over this mark because if I do, I've got to pour out my solution and start over. So the last few drops up here are going to be added with the dropper. So it looks like I can add quite a bit to begin with to get it close to the mark. All right, hopefully you can see that. Let me bring that a little closer so you can see it as I'm adding it. All right, and so notice I'm adding dropwise. Okay, so now I want to get down to eye level and add exactly the right amount so that the bottom of my meniscus is right on top of that calibration mark. I'm going to bring it up close so you can see. Try to hold it straight though. I hope you can see that. But the meniscus is sitting right on top of the line. All right, so now once I, make sure you're looking at it eye level, the bottom of the curve should be like sitting right down on that line, okay? So now we're gonna cap this, okay? Last step, we have to cap this, and then we wanna have complete mixing throughout the solution. So we're going to invert this about 15 to 20 times like this for complete mixing. Okay, make sure you hold on to the cap and the bottom of the bottle at the same time. Okay, and then once you've done that 15 to 20 times, it should be completely mixed. You can set it down and check your meniscus again. Still looks good. And last step is you're going to take a Post-it note. All right, take a Post-it note. It's always important to label your solutions so that people know what is in this, that it's not just pure water. So you'll label it with your name and the molarity and the solute. Once you do that, okay, put that on your volumetric flask right here. You might need some tape to stick it on. And then call me over and I will check your solution and check you off for the lab practical. Okay, last step. Last step in any lab is to clean up. So you want to make sure that you close any bottles that are around. Okay, you want to put away any equipment, wash it, put it away. Okay, put back any materials that you've used. Okay, clean up the area and then make sure you take a paper towel. Okay, a wet paper towel, get it wet, and then wipe down your lab area of any chemicals. Okay, and then finally, make sure you wash your hands and remove your goggles. Okay, once you're done, show your solution, leave your solution at your station, turn in your lab practical sheet for grading, and you're all set. All right, students, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about the lab practical, please let me know.